So, hello everyone. My name is Anshuman from grade 6A and learner of the Goenka public school. So, now I am going to talk about a really important topic, which is infinity. We all consider infinity as non-definite number, but today I have my own theory and I want to present to you my theory. So let's see. So first is introduction. Now, infinity is a number that is greater than any number possible. Negative infinity is smaller than any number possible. See, negative infinity is also a value. We must know that what is negative infinity. As infinity is endless, we consider it endless and the greatest number possible. But negative infinity is the opposite of infinity and is the smallest number possible. Now, according to this theory, infinity and negative infinity meet at a point. Yes, suppose it is a number line. Suppose it is a number line. Suppose it is a number line extending to both directions. We can say it is a ray, two ray. First ray, second ray. Now, this ray, left ray is negative and right ray is positive. Okay. Now, at the middle it is 0, which is not negative, not positive. Now, if we extend till infinity in negative side, it is negative infinity. And at the right it is positive infinity, or we can write it as normal infinity. But can you see, they don't meet at a point. So how am I saying that infinity and negative infinity meet at a point? So let's see. So infinity equals 1 by 0. So how is it 1 by 0? First of all, dividing 1 by infinity is equal to 0. See, suppose here is 1 and here is infinity is equal to 0. So this is a basic what I can say, calculation. Suppose that if we know that if 0 is at the top and at the denominator, because 0 is the numerator, and at the denominator if there is any number, suppose 3 or 3 or 4, any number, then it would come 0, because in the numerator it is 0. Okay. Now, as I have told you that if the numerator is 0 and denominator is any number possible, then it is always 0. Similarly, if infinity is at the denominator and numerator is anything, you can 2, 3, 4, 5, anything, then the answer will always come 0. Now, what I did basically, that I imagine infinity as x. So 1 by x is equal to 0. Now basically 1 by infinity is equal to 0 by 1, because we cannot say 0 by 0 because it won't be a proper value. So 0 by 1. Now we will do cross multiplication. Basically 0x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1 and 0 will transfer to the denominator, which is equal to 1 by 0. And I am not just saying it in air, but actually I have proved it. And how, I will tell you. So we can imagine infinity as x because we don't know the exact value. Now we will do the cross multiplication as I have already explained. Now next. So what is this? This is the most important topic. Means I was going to talk about this topic only, which is really important. Now first I will draw circle. Give it. Suppose that it is a circle. Okay. Why I am representing a number line with a circle? This is the first question which comes in your mind. It is because number line is extending till infinity in both of the directions, because of which it always forms a circle. Yes, a line, a straight line which is extending till infinity in both directions is equal to the radius, infinite radius of a circle, or we can say infinite circumference. So we can imagine it as a circle. Yes, we can imagine it. So at the down there is 0. Basic. Now at the top there is not infinity, as I have told there are two infinity, negative infinity and positive infinity, because they extend in both directions, negative side and positive side. So there is one infinity, negative, negative infinity and infinity. Now as you can see, there is a point where they meet. This point is known as, I have said it as T. Oh, sorry. I have said this point as T. The point where infinity and negative infinity meets is known as T. So basic thing is that T is not equal to 0 and infinity is greater in comparison of T, and T is greater in comparison of negative infinity, because negative infinity is the smallest number possible. Now it is 1 and it is negative 1. Now simply what would happen, that I have imagined it as vertical lines. For example, so these are vertical lines, straight lines. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So what these tell, that these two are the opposite number. How? See, vertical line tells us what? It tells us that -1 and then the next line is minus infinity. -1 is the greatest negative number possible. Yes, -1 is the greatest negative number possible, and minus infinity is the smallest negative number possible. Now here, infinity is the greatest number possible, and 1 is the smallest positive number possible. Yeah. Now here would be 2, here would be -2. So similarly, when we go to 2 and straight line, then here would be one digit back of infinity, which would be the second largest number, and second largest positive number, and it is the second smallest positive number. Yeah, these vertical lines are always opposite according to me. Now there are horizontal lines like this. The size of the horizontal line becomes smaller as we go at the down. For example, here the horizontal lines are becoming smaller, and at the top also at T it is becoming just a point. Okay, so these horizontal lines tells us the additive inverse. It was opposite, but the sign was not changing. It is additive inverse, means it is totally inverse. For example, it is -1, so this line goes to 1. So the opposite of -1 is 1. Then here is line 2, -2 and 2. So these both are totally inverse. Now the thing we should know, that as these become smaller, because the distance between these two numbers are becoming smaller at a point, and when we come to 0 there is just a dot. Why there is just a dot? Because we cannot make any additive inverse of 0, like we cannot write -0 or +0. No, that's why at 0 it is just a point, and when we go to T, and T is also just a point. So this means that we cannot represent it as +T or -T. It would be wrong. Now when I was talking about the vertical lines, in vertical lines also there is a point here and here. I've named these 2 points as A. This is negative A and this is positive A. So what is the basic thing of negative A and positive A? Is that at left of negative A, I have told that these are opposite. -1 is biggest negative number and minus infinity is smallest number, yes, in existence. But here the value cannot be opposite, or we can say that is the half of the number circle. Yes, it's one quarter, sorry. Now when these points meet, here comes this area which you can see here is separate. Okay, it's separate. Now there is another area between 0A here, 0 positive A here, sorry, negative A it was, positive A and T here, T and negative A here, which form a what? Square. Now some parts of the square, I think I need a new figure because you cannot understand. So again I am going to explain in short. So as I was saying that it is positive A, and it was negative A, and it was 0. So these form a circle, I said circle by mistake, square, a quadrilateral it forms in a tilt angle. Now between negative A and T there is E. E also don't have a definite means plus or minus, like 0 we cannot say it's positive 0 or negative 0. Similarly E also don't have, the value of all E are same. So between these is E and here is E. When all E points meet, they form a square. So the point or the place where all these meet is actually nothing but a hexagon. I have calculated, if I have drawn something like mistake here, so 1 2 3 like this here, it forms a hexagon like this. It cannot be represented here properly, like this it forms. Okay, so in hexagon what happens, that the line of E also matches here the square one, and the difference from T, negative A and T and positive A also meet here. Now these are E points which are separate. As you can see, it is the point, not here. So it is the point of the square where this line, the tilt square one, has not touched. So we call it the E line. E line. Now we know E line and everything else. Now these are vertical lines. I have told about vertical lines and horizontal lines. Now it's last summary. Vertical lines means opposite, and horizontal means additive inverse. Means the sign will not change in opposite one. It's just additive in horizontal. It is additive inverse. Additive inverse. So means the sign will change, like it's -1, it will become +1. Okay. Now the next slide. So what it is pi. Basically pi into d. If we imagine 1/0 as infinity, now I have proved that it is infinity. Now pi into d is equal to circumference. If the circumference is equal to infinity and we are imagining infinity as 1/0, then 1/0 is equal to d into pi, which can be said as 22 by 7 into d is equal to 1 by 0. Okay, simple. Now, if suppose that there is 2 into 3 is equal to 6 and we don't know 3, what we would do? We would just divide it. Similarly, we would do here too. 7 by 22, which would give us 7 by 0, which is an equivalent fraction of 1 by 0 only. This means that the diameter should also be 1 by 0. Okay. Now, next slide, and it is the last one. It's the last one. Now, it's the basically summary. So, we can use 1 by 0 as infinity, and it can help us for development in mathematics. We can use number circle in comparison of number line. Last thing, this is last thing. Suppose that there is 1 by 0 and I prove it is the longest number possible. Suppose there is 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 till in 5, 9. And there is 1. So we know that we can compare by cross multiplication. We will do cross multiplication, the value of it will become 0 and it would be 1. So it would be always greater. Now, minus 1 by 0 is smallest. It means the negative infinity. For example, 9, 9, 9, 9 negative made by 1. Then if we would multiply, it would become 0. And when we would multiply minus 1 and 1, it would become minus 1. So which is more smaller? Minus 1 is smaller. So minus 1 by 0 is always the smallest number, which is mean it is the negative infinity. And plus infinity is positive infinity. Thank you.